In this video, I'm going to show you 3 common mistakes I see drummers make with brushes. Over the past few years, I've taught so many drummers all over the world via private lessons and through my online brush community. And just about every student that starts with me makes these exact same mistakes with their technique. These mistakes make their brush playing sound harsh, thin, and disjointed. So I'm going to show you these mistakes and give you tips on how to fix them. If you've seen any of my videos, you'll know that my approach to brush technique is that of a lateral or side-to-side nature. I believe this technique is the key to playing brushes the way they were meant to be. The first mistake I see drummers make is that they hold the brush in the wrong grip in their dominant hand. If you hold the brush in American or German grip, you're forced to use your wrist or arm to get that side-to-side movement. Now this is fine at slower tempos, but when things start to speed up, you won't be able to maintain this movement for long. If you hold the brush in French grip, the opening and closing motions by the fingers will naturally move the brush from side to side. This means that you'll be able to move the brush with less effort, making it a more efficient grip. To get the most out of French grip, hold the brush in the air between your thumb and index finger, then move your arm from side to side. You'll want to make sure that the brush is pivoting naturally without any extra force. Once you get the hang of this, gradually put your finger back on the handle and lower the wires onto the drum head, making sure that you maintain the same movement. You then use your back 3 fingers to help guide the brush a little more. When you finally get the hang of this, you'll hopefully be able to play like this.
Quando o piano já não quer mais tocar e as teclas pretas não saem do lugar.
The second common mistake relates to the left hand, and that is when drummers hold the brush at too high of an angle. There are a few problems with this, and it all has to do with how it affects the sound of the continuous sweeps needed for many grooves. When you hold the brush at a high angle, it can create 3 problems. The first is where a thin and bright sound is created by the very edges of the wires at this high angle. The second is the possibility of the wires getting caught on the surface of the drum head. And the third is if you want to get that thicker brush wire sound, you'd have to push down into the head, which takes more force at this angle, and it also creates a heavy and disjointed sweep. The way you can fix this is by doing one of 2 things, or both. The easiest fix is by angling the snare away so it follows the natural angle of the brush. Or you can slightly twist your palm outwards. This instantly puts the brush at a lower angle, but you may have to adjust your technique slightly. The third common mistake I see drummers do is when they use their whole arm to move the brush. Similar to what I said before about German and American grip, moving your whole arm is an inefficient way to move around the head, and this applies to both left and right arms. Whatever techniques you end up using, you want to make sure that your arm mostly stays still from your shoulder to your elbow. With my left brush, what I like to do is hold the very back of the brush handle in the crook of my thumb with my fingers extended. You then lower the wires onto the head and start to move your arm side to side. You then curl your ring finger and pinky under the handle and lightly put your middle finger on top, but try to keep the sweeping motion the same. As you move the brush from side to side, you want to make sure that your fingers are gently guiding the brush and not forcing it. It's the combination of arm and finger movement that achieves that great brush sound. With the right brush, instead of moving your arm, you want to use the French grip technique that I demonstrated earlier, with the addition of moving your arm forward and back just enough to avoid crashing into the left brush. Have a listen to how smooth you can get the swing groove by using these techniques. If this swing pattern is a little confusing for you, then you might benefit from learning my train track patterns.